we start with this game. Melkumyan with Gunina. Well, of course we're gonna have a lot of supporters for Charming Lally as well. That's a rare occasion. I mean, well, she's one of the few who can make it to top boards to top boards to board number 4. So Slav defense and well, quite a popular line nowadays was e3. So white easily gets well, bishop's pair, and one might think that that would mean an advantage, but well, it's not the case. I would say in this position still black is very solid, and as we, well, at least those who are experienced in say following chess, particularly women chess, we all know that well, it's a very important task for Gunina to survive the opening, which is, well, seems to be not her cup of tea, so to speak. And but later on, I mean, she's very creative. She's got well, sharp tactical talents. Well, e4 was played. So I mean, if white is not getting, say, winning position straight from the opening, then well, we can expect a tough fight. Well, that's a tricky move. So d4, and all of a sudden bishop takes e4. So white offers to, well, black is offered to, say, regain the balance in terms of bishops. Yeah. So it was possible to take on e4, but then knight gets a nice position on e4. So Gunina played bishop c7, which is, well, kind of a prophylactical move. Plus, at some point, queen d6 might be a threat. c5, so queen is not allowed to d6. Now it's very interesting, because, well, white needs one more move, which is bishop g5, and then black's gonna be under serious pressure. It's not clear what to do for black, because one of the most tempting moves, knight d5, to say, well, black gets the square on d5, so why not to play knight d5? But then, well, what an interesting move Gunina chose. Castle long. So castle long, she was, well, she was threatening to take on c5, queen f3 came quickly, and then d5 break. And this gonna be very sharp now, because, well, if white captures on d5, well, I mean, white cannot leave it like this. So, yeah, I was to explain that d5 is, well, actually white's only attempt to play for an advantage. Well, now, if e d5, then knight d5, black will have to capture on d5, and then after bishop d5, b7 is hanging, and so does f7 pawn. Can black try to capture on c5? No, Gunina decided to take on e4. What happens then? Queen has to take, perhaps. Yeah, if knight takes, black simply, and if queen takes, it's knight c5 with the tempo. So black does very well in this position then. So the question, if white can try to capture on c6 intermediately. Yeah, perhaps that's the right move. So dc6, and then, well, black is out of trouble. Perhaps black can take, yeah, dc6. That's what he does. Now black can try to capture on c3. White will have to take on d7 with check, and then, yeah, so black still does reasonably well, but at least white managed not to fall apart. So Gunina is looking for some way to complicate matters, perhaps. Yeah, knight c3. So takes on d7, then queen, no, rook takes d7, which is, so she prepares, perhaps she prepares to go for e4, and in case of bc3, for instance, which is, but there is another intermediate, which is c7. Yeah, that was, yeah, it was more precise to take with the queen, I have to say, because now it's one more time the same motive, c6 intermediate, b c6, and then, well, Plex has got an extra pawn, but his structure is a little bit ruined. Now e4. Well, I'm not quite sure about this e4, honestly, because, well, she wants to play queen e5, but well, it's hard to say. And actually, it's quite an unpleasant threat. Queen, yeah, if queen c6, yeah, that's what Melkumyan is going for. Queen takes c6, then, well, queen e5 is what's planned. I don't know if there is anything else, but queen e5, so queen d6. So a bit modest approach. But yeah, now at least white is given a chance to go for an endgame, which is still should be no problem for black. The bishop e5, and black gets all his pieces back. Rook c1 check, king b7 perhaps. Yeah, and then black can combine marching his... How about rook c5? It's, yeah, quite unpleasant actually. It's quite unpleasant for black. Now I realize after rook c5, not clear what to do with the bishop. Well, there is a feeling like Gunina had to keep the queens. That would have been better. Rook e8, and well, it all feels awkward. b2, by the way, was not possible to take, of course, and still it's not. Yeah, bishop b2, it's always rook b5 check. Well, f7, f5, finally. Setting those pawns in motion. Check. King a8, and then g3. And black would like to exchange something, but it's not clear how to do it. Rook b7, and now there is a very nice combination. Rook e5, rook c8 check, exchange on b8 and bishop f4. So white is winning by force by taking on e5. But Melkumyan seemed not to see it. No, he doesn't see it. Yeah, rook e5, yeah, he found it. That's a nice way. Rook e5, it's a check on c8. White takes on b8 and bishop f4.